Okay, here's the 2017 Suzuki DRZ. We're going to show you how to do the 3x3 mod. I know there are a couple of videos out there that already show it. As I watched them, there was only one other good one out there that I liked, but I decided to make my own. So if you like it, thank you. If you don't, oh well. But this is how I'm going to do my 3x3 mod. So first, obviously, take off the side cover. And next, you're going to be taking off the seat, which I have already unbolted here. So let's take that off. So now you got, underneath here, you got the cover that covers the wire for the computer. So take off the screw that's right here. Next, the computer should be able to move by itself. Just lift it up and move it out your way. Alright, so over here we got an extra wire because I have a USB charging on my bike. So we got to move some wires out the way. There's two wires here that I already loosened up. Actually zip ties. I loosened up, get them out your way. Get them out the way. Move this wire. So now you got your space for where you want to cut. Next, you want to remove the air filter down here, which we're going to do. Take that. Take this out. Set off to the side. Alrighty. Next, we're going to want to cover up this hole back here because you don't want stuff to get into your carburetor. So we're either going to either put tape on it or cover it with paper. Don't really want to use the duct tape. I prefer to do the paper to cover it because the duct tape is going to leave possible glue residue. Okay, so I took the liberty of taking some packing paper that actually came with one of my Amazon deliveries or motorsport deliveries. So I folded the paper into a perfect square. I'm going to take the nice flat side that doesn't have all the little pieces of paper towards the side of the carb so none of these little papers possibly get into the carb. So what I'm going to do is put it in there to make sure I cover the screen completely. Let's get that in there. Once it's in there, make sure you got like a tight fit and that's covering the screen 100%. And you can actually even use the pressure bar for the filter. I took another ball of paper and hold it tight into place. As I said, I don't really like using the tape. It leaves a residue. So we got that. So now that's covered. And then we're going to any little particles that fall in there, we're going to vacuum out anyway. Next, back up to the top. I took a piece of paper, I measured it, did a 3x3, and now I'm going to basically place it on top of the airbox. And yes, of course, that's my 2-year-old in the background. Now I'm going to trace out where I want my 3x3. So since there's already a hole there, I'm going to utilize the space by where the holes already are, so I have to do less cutting. So I'm going to take the very edge there and right to this hole. So I'm lining the paper up with this side, and now I'm going to pretty much just draw my line here on the airbox of where I want to cut. Alright, so there's the line one. And then just trace all the way around. Alright, so now that we traced out our paper template, you can see the lines where I'm going to go and cut it out. Alright, so we tried the razor blade with the vice grips and just was going way too slow. So what I did is I took a very tiny small drill bit and just drilled 100 holes right on the line. And now I'm going to cut it with the razor blade, and hopefully it goes a lot faster. Because as you can see, I started right here and then it started going up, and from here to here it took about 10 minutes, and to hell with that. So we're gonna just end up cutting now. Since there's a million holes, now it should be able to be very easy to cut. Alright, now that I made all the cuts, we're just going to pull it out. Next, we're going to get a razor blade and see if we could make this all nice and smooth. Get rid of the burrs, because you don't want any of those flying into your filter or get down into the carb. So we're going to get down to that. Alright, so we're just going to take a razor blade, bend it a little, get a nice little U in it, and just start cleaning up some edges around here. And don't worry about it looking a little rough, because we bought some black lines, intake lines to put around it, and I'll show you that in a couple minutes when we get to that step. So when we're done, we want it to look professional. So let's just finish cleaning these up, and we'll show you what the end result looks like in a minute. Alright, so it's very important, after you clean all the edges, vacuum it as good as possible. Make sure you get every little crumb out the air box. And then once you're done vacuuming, you'll see any little pieces that you may have missed. Like, I don't like the pieces here, over here, down this corner I want to clean up. So there's little spurs that I still want to clean up. And key point here is make sure you vacuum it very well. So we're going to continue doing that. Make sure we get all the pieces, which we just vacuumed, so we're just double vacuuming. And now coming back up here, we just see the little pieces that I don't like, and we're going to cut those out, and then we'll show you how to put a nice trim around it. Alright, so now after I cleaned it up, cleaned all the edges, feels nice and smooth. Some people would just leave it as that, but I'm going to take it the next step further, which I've seen a couple on a couple other videos. So I went to Advanced Auto and went and bought myself some 7/32 vacuum hose line. I'm going to basically take out a foot and start trimming it around. I also got some clear RTV silicone. I'm going to probably fill it with that. Here's a small little piece as an example. So I'm going to get I don't know if it's 3 by 3 by 3, need about a foot of it. I'm going to take the vacuum hose, take a razor, cut it down the middle, and then put it all around the edge like this, fill it with some silicone, and then we'll have a nice clean border all the way around. And we're going to then let it sit there and dry. I guess you could use either the clear silicone, maybe some crazy glue. Alright, so we went out, made sure I cut more than enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the razor and we're going to cut right down the middle. You want to always make sure that you're cutting a straight line, so it's good to stop every once in a while and make sure your line's not going all zigzag back and forth. So when you go put it on, it's not going to look right. So we're going to start the cut. And it's a good idea to cut if the vacuum hose already comes naturally curved. It's a good thing to cut on the outside, so when you put it on, it goes around the box already and you're not fighting the natural curve of it. So let's start cutting. And there we go. And take a look at it and go down. Make sure we're not going out of track here. Okay. Alright, so after taking the piece and after cutting a nice line, I already dry fitted it, and now I trimmed it down to the exact size that I want. My original plan was to go with the silicone, but after putting it on, and it is so tight with just out the silicone that I think I'm just gonna be comfortable enough just putting a couple drops of crazy glue on it once I have it on. So let's see what it looks like after we put it on. Put this crazy glue down. And as I was dry fitting it, I kept cutting it and making sure it was more than long enough, because you don't want to do all this work, cut it, and then it's too short and then it doesn't look right. I like to have this crap look professional. I want to make it look like it was never even a mod. I want to make it look like Suzuki did it. And that's the way it's supposed to come on the bike. So you just do want to get your fingers all the way around. Make sure it's flipped evenly all the way around. See, like this corner here, it didn't flip. So that's what the end result's supposed to look like. Here's this right here. Everything's tight, nothing looks loose to me. There's no excess. So I like it like that. So now I'm just going to take a little crazy glue, lift up the edge, and put a little glue down along the line, and do that, and just work it all the way around. And do one side at a time. Yeah, that was the easy side, figures. There we go. These wires. Oh, glue's coming out. Let's not waste it. Get it down and around, nice and tight. Well, looks like this one's out of glue. Don't worry, got more crazy glue. But so that's what it's supposed to look like. And now once I guess you're done, come back around here. We vacuumed this about 3 or 4 times. We're uncomfortable enough to take out the paper. You vacuum it one more time. Put it back in your air filter, which I'm not putting the stock one back in because I just ordered myself a twin air, and just waiting on actually the oil to come in the mail, because didn't realize that the twin airs don't come pre-oiled. So alrighty, so this is how you do the 3x3 mod, my way, and I'd like to think I did a pretty good job, and I like the way it looks. I think that's almost looks like factory style.